Atiku Abubakar, the candidate of the PDP, that's the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Daniel Bwala. He will be speaking on his visit to the president and the state of the nation. Welcome to the show, sir. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, good to have you on the show. So you've been trending the last couple of days because people are wondering where exactly does this man, where exactly does he stay? Is he APC? Is he PDP? Let me just clarify. Are you still in PDP? Let's cross that hurdle first.
Yes, I'm a member of PDP, but I'm 110% in support of the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I'm committed to ensuring that in every way that I can, I advocate for what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to do at this difficult time in Nigeria to be able to pilot this country into a better destination that we all hope for. And I think that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu must be probably implementing the agenda or the leadership style of Abraham Lincoln. If you read the book, Lincoln on Leadership, Executive Strategies in Tough Times, you will see that at the time Abraham Lincoln began that his leadership, he had to lead America through the Civil War. He was confronted by the separatists at the time, they called them the Confederates, who were trying to break away from America. So he was fighting for a strong union. Two, there was the abolition of slavery. Many of the federating units did not want to give up slavery, and he needed to do that. Three, there were wars left, right, and center, and he came up with the principle you fight one war at a time. Then he wanted a strong federal government, and then to deal with the American economy. So he knew that that cannot be achieved by him projecting the Republican Party as the one that will do that. So Abraham Lincoln spread his hands and called on all American citizens to see it as a rallying point. So that is what I think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to do, because on the 1st of January, he made a call to everybody, including people from opposing political parties, to come together so we can deal with the difficult situation that we're confronted by and answer the call.
Okay. How does your principal feel about your association and visitation of the president?
Well, directly, if it is between me and him, I don't know how he feels, because he has not communicated to me any negative feelings. But I have seen on several social media where people are trying to say that he felt terribly bad about it. What I can tell the Nigerian people is that I notified him before going, and then shortly after I left the villa, after I met the president, I notified him that I had just seen the president today. I honored the president's invitation and I had seen the president, and his reply was, "Thanks, Daniel, for notifying me." So as far as I'm concerned, this is my memory and my belief. But anything else that anybody is saying, even if I had seen it somewhere, since it is not communicated directly to me, it doesn't matter. You see, at this time, I think it's about Nigeria. It's not about individual. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whether we like it or not, is the president of the republic.
Okay.
If you have an official office, if you have an office, that must be the picture of the president. Yes. If you look at your passport, it is issued in the name of the president of the republic. You see, all of us after the election had our bad feelings about the outcome of the election. But I gave an analogy of a plane, that the plane is the country. Citizens are in the plane. Pilot and the co-pilot is the president and the vice. Having crew officials might be the ministers or agents of the government. Once it has taken off, it is above the sea level. Everybody's prayer must be the safe landing of the plane. When the plane finally lands, you can complain about the pilot's skill, whether the way he landed you felt plated. You can even complain in the mid-air that the way he's navigating around the turbulence, you are not comfortable. But I have never been in an airplane where the passengers are playing for the plane to crash.
Yeah. On the second, today is what date is today? 16th. On the 2nd of January, that is like 14 days ago, you gave an interview where you said that Atiku was the best president that Nigeria never had. You said you would support him. You praised him to high heavens. Now, today, you are supporting the president of Nigeria. What changed between the 2nd of January and the 16th of January, 2 weeks ago?
Yes, what changed principally is that one man is a free moral agent, and the only thing constant in nature is change, and you have a right to change, even without giving anybody the reason for your change. But you can also go ahead and advocate the reason for the change. Mr. President was honored to invite me to go and meet him. And after I had sat with the president and listened to the president, in fact, let me tell you this. When I sat across the table with the president, The president surprised me by first telling me that he had been following my interviews, even my tweets, that they are often brought to him, and that he appreciates the fact that I'm young, intelligent, very articulate, and respectful in the conduct of my affairs. And then he proceeded, which he didn't need to explain to me all the policy decisions he has taken for which I criticize. For example, the removal of fuel subsidy. He told me the premise on which he made that decision. And facts can change opinion. You can have an opinion about anybody, maybe based on available fact that you are. When you get the chance to interact or interface with the person, either you can maintain the same opinion if you feel unconvinced, or you can change your opinion if you feel convinced. In this given situation, I felt convinced that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has the passion to do that. Is it perfect? No. Will he make mistake in policy decision? Yes. Will he criticize at some point? Yes. But he is a president who is wanting the good for Nigeria. And I want a future for my children. I want a country. I am only a citizen of Nigeria and not any other country. So I want a country that works. And because God has given us privileged opportunities in our lives to be able to affect public policy, we cannot sit back and watch it. We have to play our role. Neither can I sit somewhere and say, I wish that the plane crashed. Because when the plane crashes, actually, neither the pilot nor the passengers are safe.
Okay.
Mr. Bwala, I am very shocked by your, 360 turn on this support, because I know that you're very outspoken. You're someone I look up to in the legal profession as well. I would have really loved the healthy opposition. For democracy to thrive, we need that healthy opposition. You were constantly critiquing policies, issues, and I would follow your tweets and listen. So how would you say this would happen now, that you're now a total supporter of this administration just suddenly like that?
Yeah, because Nigeria consists of over 200 million Nigerians, each of which have the right to critique the government.
Yeah.
I do not claim absolute knowledge. I did my part, and I appreciate the fact that you recognize it, and I'm honored by that, and I want to say thank you for it. But I am not building a life to be a social critic. I want to be an influencer of policy.
No, I didn't mean that to you as an individual only. So, I meant as the PDP, as the opposition parties, spokesperson for Atiku, you will be like a shadow cabinet. You understand what I mean? Because you were in that party, but suddenly now you're open to an appointment. You're also open to joining the ruling party. You're just open to everything and supporting everything about the party just like that. You didn't think that role was important as well when you played it?
Yeah. Yes, the thing is, there is a misconceived notion, and sometimes even when I'm introduced in media space, they always use that designation. I was a spokesman of the campaign. After the election, they dissolved the campaign. I ceased to be a spokesman. The reason why you continue to see my engagement is because of my commitment and patriotism to the country. We need to engage. I didn't have any reason to do that or any obligation to do that. I am not an official of People's Democratic Party, not a member of National Working Committee, not a member of the Board of Trustees, never ran for any office. I am just an ordinary member like every other member who also has the right and obligation to play that role. And so the entire burden of the party cannot be placed on me because I made a choice to support President Tinubu. There is this thing in basketball. They say when a player is injured and he won't participate, the next man up. The next man up. So it is time for them to have the next man up after all. We were told that we made spokesperson during the campaign. So they still have three. Assuming that the spokesperson wants to continue even though the campaign has been dissolved. I quite appreciate your point about having a viral opposition and a strengthened democracy. I have been an advocate for that. But the fact that I'm an advocate for that does not mean that there is an obligation of me to be that. You see, that's why I told you facts change opinion. We moved part-time. There was a time I was in primary school. Then later I found myself in secondary school. Then I enjoyed university. I thought I could stay in university forever, because of the ecstasy and the joy. And then I had to move on to the law school. And we keep evolving in life. So the evolution of one's person cannot be used as a burden, responsibility, or unfair advantage on the other.
Okay. The former minister, Fashola, was here a couple of days ago. And he said that, he reminded us that politics is a game, but we just don't know the rules. Who lays out the rules? And some of the rules of this politics is loyalty. where it's like a football match, where you have generations who are supporting a particular team and they stick to it no matter what. You see people like Fayoshe who says, no matter what, I can support Tinubu, but me, I am a PDP person to the core. You know, so now, as for someone like you, where do you think, because many people within the APC are probably even thinking you're a mole coming into the party to come and see how they're doing things and try to just make the party implode from within by coming out from outside. You know, you're in before. But the issue of loyalty, how do you limbo between those two parties? Because nobody's going to trust you, either from the PDP side or the APC side. Nobody, you're just going to be in the middle. How do you plan to reside in either of the parties going forward?
So I like the point you made about Fayemi, or is it Fayemi where you said that he supports somebody but he remains a member of the political party, Fayoshe, right? Good. Yes. So, but the same Fayoshe who you probably eulogize for that strong position, a greater number of PDP also feel he's a mole by supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's one thing about life, is that opinion is the property of people, and people consume information and form opinion. Some people are so elastic in their minds that if parts changes, they can also change their opinion. Some people have been biased by sentiment. It can be religious, it can be regional, it can be tribal, it can be anything, and then they hold on. Then there are some people that have created in their mind a picture of who you should be to them. And sometimes that slave-like thinking that when you are not doing what they expect you to do, therefore you are against them, you can't help it because it's not within your power to change people's opinion. Now, with respect to the idea of money, it's not is intriguing by, but this is something that I've never been known by. When I left President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because when I have been an APC member for 8 years, so when I left President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I didn't say I was leaving the APC on ideological reason of the party, blah, blah, blah. He made the same ticket decision, and at the time, I was speaking for him. I decided to not identify with that and I changed. Now, when I went there, because I made the point clear that I would never insult President Tinubu in my campaign, from my first interview, I was attacked by still members of the press. Because in our Nigerian context, still the members of the press think that when you move from one party to another, your principal job is to, not criticize, but to insult personality. That's why throughout the campaign, you will never find one word from Bwala against the person of Tinubu. But in terms of policy, discrediting policies, I have done that because that's the rule of the game during the electionary process. You market your product and tell the Nigerian people why you think your product is more than the other. So the people in PDP at the time thought I was a mole because I could not insult President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. To a point where I had to approach my principal to tell him why I made the decision not to insult. Now, but throughout the campaign ended. Who performed? I don't want to, like the chameleon, the lizard that praise himself. I don't want to praise myself, but Nigerian people can judge whether I gave it my best. Now, I decided to come back to Tinubu, who I was with before. Then the people from PDP will now say he's wicked. But then in APC, I can understand two things, and I want to tell you that today. Number one, there are people who feel that they have worked in the party and they should be carried along, and they feel they have not yet been carried along. So they already have an admission. And then with the discovery of Bwala, they now transfer their admiration to me. There are some people who actually have an agenda to ridicule, to malign your name in the hope that they can spoil your name. It's part of life. You have to accept it too.
All right.
Man is a free moral agent and there is freedom of thought and expression. It is when you get bored by what people are saying that you lose focus aside of what you're doing.
All right, go ahead, man.
Okay. Mr. Bwala, I am also, my loyalty is to my country and to my nation. So I always understand perspective that come, from that. And, having spoken about your affiliations, now let's talk about our country. You said you met with the president and you discussed some of the policies that even you at first did not feel, you are not comfortable with. And the first thing, mentioned is the fuel subsidy. What changed your mind? Could you give us one or two things he may have said that changed your mind?
Yeah. So when I began criticizing the decision of the president to remove fuel subsidy, I made the point clear that all the candidates that ran during the election made the point that we were going to eventually remove fuel subsidy, but that Atiku planned on doing it in phases. But that I criticized Tinubu for removing it immediately without providing the cushioning effect. And I maintained that criticism for long. when I sat across the table with the president, in fact, that was the first thing he addressed. He said, when I won this election, there was nothing on ground to govern, no money anywhere. And because there's no money, you have to keep the ground running. You cannot go and borrow everything in life, because Nigerians are already complaining about borrowing. So you have to be faced by first of all, two choices that you have to make. Number one, to remove the subsidy, which will then be tough on Nigerians. You have to recognize that. But then there is a hope that you can generate revenue out of it, or to not remove the fuel subsidy. And in the next few months, the street will be flooded with people because the reality will dawn on Nigerians that we actually do not have cover to run the government with. Then he said, as a leader, you will be faced up with decisions. And at that point, what will determine whether you're a leader or not is the courage to do that. That convinced me, or that now clarified that initial thought that I had, that you didn't have any reason to remove it without us providing the palliative. And then to confirm that the president meant well. We all know how he's making the effort to provide palliative. We differ in the modalities and the modus operandi, but I have seen progressively how the president made changes. Initially, he gave out money to the governor to do palliative. People complained that some governors were getting the money. This last Christmas season, what did he do? He provided the palliative to various senators, House of members, so they can share to the people. So opportunity to corner the money is not there. And then the straw that broke the camel's back was his decision with respect to humanitarian, which is actually the bank.
That's UK networks, not Nigeria. Okay, we're going to go on because it's calling us from UK. So let us go on a short break once they sort out their UK matters. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
How do you know
it's UK network, it's not Nigeria.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teachers.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices re-echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything. If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet, sour taste for all their demands. A familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Committee Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Community Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
The TVC News at 7 and the TVC News at 10 are not like any other news broadcast.
It's the big news hour, the hour for the big breaking stories.
We've got some of the best reporters on the field,
Taking you through as it happened.
it's fast-paced, hard-hitting,
With investigations that matter.
bringing in news that affects your life.
With sport, entertainment and business news, so you don't miss a thing.
Experience resourceful coverage with depth.
Every night.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have with us Mr. Bwala. Waiki had a question.
Yeah, on that same show, that same interview, you had alluded to the fact that the governor of Rivers State had made a mistake with the deal that he signed with the president. Do you still maintain that, or your opinion has changed again?
No, I can't remember saying anything about Lagos and the government.
Not Lagos.
Rivers.
Rivers.
Sorry?
Rivers State, not Lagos. Rivers State.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I have never said anything about Lagos State and the federal government.
Rivers State.
Which is the
Fubara State.
Fubara State.
Fubara, similar to Fubara.
Okay, Rivers.
Yes.
Yes.
Rivers.
Yes. What I maintain as a constitutionally speaking, what I analyze, I still stand by that position constitutionally. But you know, the interpretation of law is subjective. It is only when the court delivers the judgment it becomes binding on people. Meaning that I can give an opinion and give an opinion. It doesn't make mine right or wrong. It doesn't make yours right or wrong. But if both of us bring this opinion towards adjudication, when the court gives the judgment, then it becomes binding on all. And the good thing is, you see, when I met the president, and that is why I will forever respect this man, because Mr. President started by addressing my criticism of his administration rather than getting angry. So some people have soft heart, they will get angry. But he was explaining the reason behind, and he said he quite appreciates my engagement in politics. That kind of leadership I want to submit to. That kind of leadership I want to promote. And let me tell you the two the distinctive difference. When I left President Tinubu and I moved to PDP, he made every effort to contact me, and I was avoiding him. That's why when I met him, I apologized deeply. I said, you don't even need to apologize. People make decisions per time based on the information that they have. Imagine somebody you left, you were involved in a very, intense campaign, and after they finish, he still has an open heart to see you, talk to you, and then all through our conversation, Mr. President never mentioned party. Mr. President didn't even mention the name Atiku. He was talking about Nigeria, Nigeria, Nigeria. To me, that is impressive. And I want to say it for the optimum time. The president is not perfect. The president will make mistakes in the course of administering the country. And as citizens and supporters of the administration, there will be time when we will criticize certain policies if we feel the policies are right or wrong. Our motives cannot be misjudged. Our criticism cannot be misjudged. But what we are committed to doing, and I started by giving the analogy of the airplane, is that where it lies within our power, we must push this envelope towards a better Nigeria.
Right.
If you look
Mr.
at
Bwala,
insecurity, like for example, yes.
Let me throw in this question very quickly to you.